All right, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to go into the article you see on the screen here. It says, top 5 countries opting to ditch U.S. dollar and the reasons behind their moves. And amidst everything that's going on, America has to, deal with the backstabbing of their own allies. All right, so they're losing as the old saying goes. I lost the battle, but I'm not going to lose the war. Well, Esau is losing both the battle and he's going to lose the war. All right, thus saith the scriptures. Now, when you go into which this is another reason why I personally believe that America is going to have to go to war as well. All right, because I was just watching this the documentary, which I know the Apostle Tahar always gets into it. It's called All Wars Are Banking Wars, Bankers Wars. And it goes into the War of 1812, World War I, World War II, even the assassination or the attempted assassination of certain American presidents. All because, they were either trying to stop, they were either like for example, the World War I was because Germany, well, it ended up being based upon Germany and the fact that, their economy was too strong. They didn't have a private central bank, which basically meant that they couldn't be controlled. All right. They were saying that World War II was going to be the same way. All right, because Germany, even though World War I basically put them in debt, extreme debt, they were coming back from that. All right, and then in the documentary was saying that this guy, that's the part I'm at now, that John F. Kennedy was actually put to death. All right, for basically undermining the private central banking. All right, and trying to basically take total control away from the central bank. The bankers, otherwise known as the elites. All right, and basically give it back to the government. As far as this money goes. All right, but as the famous quote goes, all right, I believe it's Maya Angelou Bauer. He said, "Give me control over a nation's money, and I care not who makes the rules." All right, because that's the name of the game, money. All right, you can't do anything without money. You can't trade. All right, which if you can't trade, your economy goes to shit without money. All right, so and there's no such thing as we just went into about a country being sovereign, man. And if you try to, another thing Esau would do is what he would order a coup. All right, to oust that president. All right, and put in a puppet leader to get them on board, That's what happened over there in Venezuela. Something more recent that brothers can understand. All right, which when they try to put the guy Juan Guaido in. All right, because he was basically a puppet for America, and was in the current leader, I forgot his name, Nicolas Maduro. He wasn't. All right, so it says the past year was full of events that inevitably split the global geopolitical space into two camps. Those who still support using U.S. currency as a universal financial tool, and those who are turning their back on the greenback. Global tensions caused by economic sanctions and trade conflicts triggered by Washington have forced targeted countries to take a fresh look at alternative payment systems currently dominated by the US dollar. RT has taken a deeper look into the recent phenomena of de-dollarization, summing up which countries have taken steps towards eliminating their reliance on the greenback and the reasons behind their decisions. And it says China, the ongoing trade conflict between the United States and China, as well as sanctions against Beijing's biggest trading partners, have forced China to take steps toward relieving the dollar dependency of the world's second largest economy. It says in Beijing's signature soft power style, the government hasn't made any loud announcements on the issue. However, the People's Bank of China has been regularly reducing the country's share of U.S. treasuries. Still the number one foreign holder of the U.S. sovereign debt, China has cut its share to the lowest level since May 2017. Okay? And soon enough, Americans will feel this. They will feel, all right, this trade war. All right, because as you always go into, and many people even say that a lot of the products, damn near all the products they buy are always made in China, man. All right, so these other countries, they actually keep America strong, man, by continuing to do business with them, man. But once they choose not to, in which as we see they are, that means what? America is becoming weak, as it says in Isaiah the 47th chapter, which proves that they're gonna have to go to war, which America is gonna have to go to war with all these countries because they're all leaving the American dollar. It says, moreover, instead of promptly dumping the greenback, China is trying to internationalize its own currency, the yuan, which was included in the IMF basket along with the US dollar, the Japanese yen, the euro, and the British pound. Beijing has recently made several steps towards strengthening the yuan, including accumulating gold reserves, launching yuan-priced crude futures, and using the currency in trade with international partners. It says China and Japan. Well, this is another one, but this actually goes into another article. But it says China and Japan lead global dumping of U.S. sovereign debt. All right, and China is one of the main exporters of goods in the whole wide world. Okay, so now it's like, if we want to do business with China, which most people want to do, all right, because they get their products at a good price, at a lower price, because everything's made in China. All right, they're gonna say, "Fuck you, America. We're going with China." And America's already doing things that is hurting their economy, like putting sanctions on Iran to where nobody can do business with them, meaning basically nobody can get oil. All right, which oil is essential for everything, man. All right. It's just as part of its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, China is planning to introduce swap facilities in participating countries to promote the use of the yuan. Moreover, the country is actively pushing for a free trade agreement called the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, which will include the countries of Southeast Asia. The trade pact could easily replace the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the proposed multinational trade deal, which was torn up by U.S. President Donald Trump shortly after he took office. RCEP includes 16 country signatories, and the potential pact is expected to form a union nearly 3.4 billion people based on combined $49.5 trillion economy, which accounts for nearly 40% of the world's GDP. It reads on, it says India, ranked the world's 6th largest economy. India is one of the biggest merchandise importers. It's not surprising that the country is directly affected by most global geopolitical conflicts and is significantly impacted by sanctions applied to its trading partners. All right, here's another one. Russia, India, and Iran want to create alternative trade route to Suez Canal. Which Suez Canal is the otherwise known as the what do you call it? The Iranian Peninsula over there in Iran. I forgot. There's another name that they call it. It's called the Strait of Hormuz. It's around that area. That's what it was. All right. It says earlier this year, Delhi switched to ruble payments on supplies of Russia's S-400 air defense systems as a result of U.S. economy penalties introduced against Moscow. The country also had to switch to the rupee in purchases of Iranian crude after Washington reinstituted sanctions against Tehran. In December, India and the United Arab Emirates sealed a currency swap agreeable to boost trade and investments without the involvement of a third currency. Taking into account that India is the third largest country by purchasing power parity, steps of this kind can considerably diminish the role of the greenback in global trading. And it reads on, man. All right, as you see, it's even actually other articles as you read down. It says Turkey, not America. Erdogan continues crackdown on U.S. dollar in favor of lira. Iraq wants to barter food for desperately. Oh, that's something else. But it's, as you see, it's a pretty lengthy article, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. But brothers get the point, man. It says Russia phasing out U.S. dollar in military contracts in favor of local currencies. So, hey, the scriptures say, Isaiah, which we always get these scriptures, but as you see, they're coming more and more to life as days come past. Isaiah 47:1, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. To where you were, you were the antagonist of all these wars. Now you basically paying catch up, man. You basically defending yourself to where you are being a bully. All right, now you're basically being bullied. All right, you're basically now having to defend yourself, defend your dollar, which, as the scripture says in Joel the 3rd chapter, that you're gonna be forced to go down over there and to a land barren and desolate, man. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? So, hey, you sitting in the dust, man. You sitting alone. All right? With nobody to come and consult you, man. As a matter of fact, they're coming together. They're going to come together and fuck you up, man. As it says in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter. Ezekiel the 37th chapter. All these things are now coming to pass. All right? This is the book of Job, chapter 18, verse 10. It says the snare is laid up for him in the ground. Man. All right, this is Job chapter 18, verse 10. It says, then answered Bildad the Shuhite and said, how long will it be ere ye make an end of words? Mark, and afterwards we will speak. Wherefore, after we counted as beasts, wherefore are we counted as beasts and reputed vile in your sight? Actually, I'm going to skip to Job 18:5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. All right. And the light of the wicked is being put out, as we see. All right. Through his strength. All right. The light. All right. To where everybody's looking, to America as basically, the way to survive through the dollar. Now they're not looking at them like that, man. But more so as the basically they looking at America like America's in the way. What we gonna do about this place? So it says, yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. Okay, so now we see, his light, his strength, his candle being put out with him, man. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. In America, they still have that mindset of that, these other nations are gonna bow down to me because I'm the shit. All right, they're gonna bow down to this greenback, or face sanctions and stuff like that. All right, but it says the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. So they're gonna stop messing with him, man. All right, this place is about to sit alone. All right, and as I said, which is gonna you know how Esau get down, man. Esau not gonna go down without a fight. All right, so it's the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. He is cast into a net by his own feet, constantly doing certain things, and to whereas before he actually prospered, through his coup and through putting sanctions on these countries, he actually prospered. But now he's going to do that to his own hurt, man. Because now that's making these other countries, all right, look for alternative routes to do trade. Okay, it says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. And now you have nobody to blame for your fuck ups but yourself, man. When this place falls, the only person Esau can blame, for this place being finished is himself. The jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robbers shall prevail against him. The snare is laid up for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. And this is the thing, Esau don't see the trap in the ground, the bear trap in the ground, even though we telling him. Because the scriptures say the deceived and the deceiver are his. All right, and ultimately, the Lord got Esau in the trick bag. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. And terror is making him afraid on every side, from his allies, all right, to even from his allies, to him having to deal with this economic downturn in America itself, to a protest arising, all right, to there's many different things. The wildfires over there in California. So Esau has a lot of stuff on his hands. It says, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bidden, and destruction shall be ready at his side. So when Esau finally understands what's going on, I'm gonna just continue to read. His strength shall be hunger bidden, and destruction shall be ready at his side. So when Esau when he finally understands what's going on, it's gonna be too late. He shall devour the strength of his skin, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. So as I said, Esau is losing the battles, and he's going to lose the war. All right? Because when Esau finally realizes what's going on, Yahweh Shah is going to be there to meet him and take him out of his misery, man. Okay? His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacles. All right? Nothing's going right for this devil, man. And it's rightly so. And as the scriptures say, all right, James chapter 5, verse 1, it says, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to weep and howl for your miseries is going to come upon you. All right. When you're in the middle of all your enemies, okay, you know, and they all come together to fuck you up, you're going to weep and howl. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. All right. The fact that you have all these private centralized banks across the world is a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. And this is going to lead you, as the scriptures say, actually says that in Revelations the 17th chapter. Let me see. Eat flesh. Let me see. Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked. All right. And the 10 horns which sawest upon the beast, well, yeah, these are the ones that basically were at one point in cahoots with America as far as the EU and NATO goes. They were at one point down, down with the wickedness, but now it's affecting them, so they not with it no more. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And they're going to do that by using the ICBM nuclear missiles, like China, man. The brother GMS Chief Cornerstone, he did a video about how China is going to basically take part in America's destruction, man. Why you think all these nations coming out that they have missiles and that they have the top S-400 missile defense system? All right, because they're going to use it to burn America down. For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God should be fulfilled. All right, and now we see the chip coming out. All right, which is one of the last few prophecies is going to happen before we receive our kingdom. So as we see, the words of God is being fulfilled. All right. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth, which that woman is America. Okay. So now, let's go back to James 5 and 3. It says, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of laborers who have heaped down your fields, which is of you kept by Salakia. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have heaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of Yahweh, the Lord of Sabaoth. Which is, as we see these things happening, this goes to prove that the Lord is hearing our prayers. And therefore, what? He's overturning our captivity. All right? All right? Don't look for reparations from this devil. The Most High is going to give us reparations. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. All right? Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. All right? So the day of slaughter is rapidly approaching, as we see. Top 5 countries opting to ditch US dollar and the reasons behind their move. All right? And stay tuned for World War III. All right? Because that's ultimately what's going to happen. That's ultimately what's going to be the end result. All right? As it says in, let's see. It's actually multiple chapters, man. All right, Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see, which this is the daughter of Babylon. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice upon them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. All right, so this is ultimately in the Lord's hand. That's why the scriptures say, we just read in Revelation 17:16, the Lord basically gave these nations into Esau's hand, which is basically gave him pride that they would never come up against him, and now they are. All right, because it's that time. And the weapons, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. You know, so the Most High is going to meet thee in the midst of World War III, man, to destroy thee, man. It says that in the book of 2nd Esdras. I believe it's either chapter 2 or chapter 2nd Esdras, either chapter 2 or chapter 13, man. You know, hey, man, hey, we almost out of here, man. The Lord's hearing our prayers, you know, and keep praying, you know, that the Lord destroys this place, man. That the Lord brings Esau, Edom, all right, into a land barren and desolate. Actually, see, Lord one, I'll be able to find it. I know the Elder Madagon did a Hebrew prayer. No, I think it's, let me see what. Oh, okay. Yeah, brothers, check this out, man. Quick World War III prayer.
This is just part of the precept. And
You know, which, hey, I'm gonna just copy it right now so I can put it in the description box. You know, so with that, Lord willing, you I can edify. Shalom to the elect.